everybody, I hope you're all doing well. I have been wanting to talk about this topic for a while now, and I never really thought of the perfect way to explain it without sounding repetitive or making this like drag on for too long. So while I was drinking my coffee this morning, I thought of 3 NCLEX tips that would be helpful, that helped me when I was studying for NCLEX. And so let's just get right into it. So the first tip I have is to take a break from all social media. Avoid talking to like classmates. I know that sounds kind of mean, but like avoid, if you're gonna talk to them, like talk to them about positive like things other than studying and when they're gonna take their test, because that's like a personal topic and I never felt comfortable with explaining to anybody when I was gonna take my test, or like what time frame I was gonna give myself to study. Like it's a personal thing, and I don't think anybody should know when you're gonna take your test, because there is a possibility that you have to take it more than one time, and that's okay. So don't be afraid, and if you feel like sharing with people when you're gonna take your test, then tell somebody. I did not even want to tell my own sister, but I ended up telling her because she is super nosy. So yeah. So don't compare yourself to others, that's my first tip. Don't worry, some people can graduate like one day and then a week later they're already sitting for their boards. Everybody is different, so don't compare yourself to others. That's my first tip. Oh, and the whole social media thing, like you don't have to completely like just delete all of it, just delete the app. That's what I did. I deleted my Facebook app, my Instagram app, and I think I just kept Snapchat, because Snapchat is like, oh, you can just look at it as like during your study break or something, just for fun, just to feel like you're still part of society. So that's my first tip. My second tip was what I used to study. I'm sure, as you all know, in your nursing school, you probably take certain exams every semester, at the end of every semester, at the beginning of every semester, or as your midterm. It could either be a program known as ATI or Kaplan, or I think you get the gist right there of what I'm talking about. There's just like certain exams that your school requires you to take in order to keep going along in your program. It's kind of like an NCLEX Prep inside of your nursing school regular programming. So I used Kaplan at my school, and I really did find Kaplan to be very helpful. In the beginning, it was very challenging for me. I did have to repeat a class in nursing school, as I hate to talk about, but it's all part of the process, and everybody's different, like I said, so don't compare yourself to others. Nursing school is far from easy, so just pat yourself on the back for even like starting school, or even if you're not in nursing school, any kind of program, like just pat yourself on the back, because being in school, no matter what degree you're going for, is not easy. Yeah, so back, see how I like to like get off topic. So my second tip would be to use a program, some kind of program that will help you with getting good at answering NCLEX style questions. So for me, during school, like I said, we used Kaplan. For NCLEX, I bought a program known as UWorld, which is very popular. A lot of people use it. It wasn't recommended to me by my school to use as NCLEX prep material, but it was something that I bought on my own. I probably bought the cheapest one there was, because being in nursing school, I was already broke as it is. So I think I bought the one that was $159, and it gave you like a 1,000 question bank that came with it, and then I had one practice exam to take at the end, like a predictor exam. It gave you a percentage on how likely it was for you to pass the NCLEX. So that's what I used. I also did keep using my Kaplan since I already had the login and everything from my school. Kaplan has a lot of resources as far as questions, and there's videos. There's tons of stuff on Kaplan. I'd highly recommend Kaplan as well. And then there is a program under NCSBN, which is the people that write NCLEX, and where you'll go to like sign up to take your exam. It's on their website. They also have a program, and again, I bought like the cheapest one, NCLEX Prep course. I think it was like $50 for 2 weeks, and it was just, again, tons of questions, rationales. There would be modules that you can go along, like say if you weren't very good at like renal or diabetes or pediatrics, like you would stay in those topics and it would go over certain diseases and processes that you weren't like too comfortable with. So that's what's on my list here. Number 1 for me was UWorld. Number 2 was Kaplan, and number 3 was NCSBN. You don't have to use all of these. I think a lot of mistakes people make is buying so many different programs that you're just like in over your head because you're like, oh my goodness, like I'm overwhelmed, you know. I would recommend, like, out of all these 3 that I have here, the one that I used the most was UWorld. So if I could recommend one thing, I would use UWorld. And the more questions you do, the better. So when I bought the program, like I finished nursing school October 29th. I gave myself 2 weeks to like relax, not forget everything, but kind of just like give my mind and my brain like some time to just relax before I dug really deep into studying for NCLEX. So as I said, when I bought it, I started very slowly. So I would do like maybe 25 questions one day, but every week I would do questions. So I would do 25 questions maybe the first week of studying. And as the more questions I did, the better I got at answering these NCLEX style questions. I felt like after taking NCLEX that UWorld was the most, not very alike, like the questions were not the same, but the most similar to the way NCLEX was, as in like on the computer screen. It literally looked like UWorld. So it made me feel kind of comfortable too when I took my boards, knowing that, you know, okay, I've seen some kind of computer screen like this before. It's not the same program, it's not the same questions, but it looked familiar, so that kind of gave me a peace of mind too. Yes, so like I said, I started to do like 25 questions the first week, every single day, 25 questions. On my lunch break at work, I would do maybe 10 or so questions, and then just build myself up from there. So say on like week 2, I bumped it up to 50 questions a day. Week 3, I bumped it up to 75. Week 4, I bumped it up to 100. And then once I was closer to my NCLEX day, which I think I gave myself like a full month of studying before I even considered like sitting for my boards. So I finished school October 29th. I started really like studying for NCLEX maybe November, maybe toward like the beginning of November, and then I gave myself a month from then to sit down and study and make it like a job. It was, you know, a lot of us already work as it is, so it was like going to work, coming home, relaxing after a 12-hour shift, and then the next day I would be off, and that would be my study day. But I would give myself like times, like I would maybe do 8 hours a day, and I'm not the type of person that is good at studying at home. So I would go to like Panera, Starbucks, maybe like a friend's house that was also like studying with me, because that kind of helped. But I didn't like feel comfortable going to study with my friends until I was a little bit more in depth into my study routine, so that way I wouldn't throw anybody else off as far as how I was studying. So yes, that number 1 was take a break from social media and relax, give your mind, you know, use it as like a reward. Say if you did 100 questions that day, like, okay, let me scroll through Instagram for like 25 minutes and see what everybody's up to, you know, kind of thing. It's not some, and you'll realize after not using it for a while that it's not something that you need. Number 2 was a program. Pick a program of your liking. My recommendations to you would be UWorld, Kaplan, and CSBN. Those are really great programs that I found really helpful. Throughout school I used Kaplan, like I said, and then I did buy the NCSBN toward the end of my nursing program. That was like $50. So on the side of studying for my weekly exams, I would use the NCSBN as like extra questions, like extra material. But NCLEX, I strictly use UWorld. Like I don't know what to say. I liked it so much that I felt comfortable using it. Another thing that I recommend would be Mark Klemick lectures, if you can find them on YouTube, which was what I did. I would listen to his videos on top of doing my questions every single day. So say if I was at Panera for 8 hours, I got through my 100 questions, and then I would listen to one Mark Klemick video. You can also buy them. They're a little expensive, but at the time that I was studying for my NCLEX, it was something that I found on YouTube. So he has like maternal, he has one on acid base, he has one on pediatrics, he has one on psych, he has one on pharmacology. He has a video literally for everything. So that I found super, super helpful. He's great. I really highly recommend if you can find those videos, or even if you purchase them, you won't be sorry. You will appreciate it like as much as I did. Luckily, I was thankful to have found them on YouTube because, like I said, everything costs money, you know, UWorld costs money, paying for your boards costs money, fingerprints, like everything just adds up. And if you can save $1 anyway, then I would recommend trying to find the easiest way to find those lectures. Yes. So number 3, just to make it short, sweet, and simple, take it when you're ready. And I say this with like the most honest heart, if that makes any sense, but you are never gonna feel ready. You're never gonna feel ready to go take this test. You're never gonna feel like, okay, I'm gonna go and take it and I'm excited. Like I was never like that. I dreaded the thought of even walking into that testing center to take my exam. The night before my exam, the day before my exam, I took that UWorld predictor exam. And I believe I scored within the 77th percentile. So 77th out of 100. So I had like it was like close to like an 88% chance that I would pass NCLEX. So I was like, you know what? That sounds good to me. I closed my computer. I went out with my boyfriend. We had dinner and I just relaxed. And I didn't even tell him I was taking my test the next day until the car ride home, because I just didn't want the extra stress. The more people that you tell, the more you're gonna feel like, okay, I have to pass this. Like I've already told my mom, my sister, my brother, my boyfriend, like they're all counting on me to pass this test, but they're really not. They're actually just hoping the best for you. And even if you don't pass on the first try, you have another chance, more than 2 chances to go take it again, and you'll be fine. So yeah, just don't feel rushed into taking it. Take it when you're ready. If you're one of those people that can graduate on Monday and take your test on the Friday, then go and do it, because we know ourselves more than anybody else. So my advice to you is just to, have faith in yourself. Don't rush. Give yourself a lot of time, and all the time that you need, until you feel like, okay, I think I've gone over enough material to go and take this test, and feel good about it. And another thing, if you are able to purchase those Mark videos or find them on YouTube, he's so good at making you feel like not like you're gonna pass, but like you can do this. My exam, you know, there's a common saying like, oh, if you finish in 75 questions, that means you pass, no problem, like don't worry about it. And that's not true. Like, I have friends who, after they took their test, they told me that they went through the whole exam. And me personally, mine stopped at 118. And I was like, I don't even know what to say. The more you're in the game, the more you keep answering those questions, flying through them, not flying through them, but taking them, just listening to them carefully, reading them carefully, process of elimination, you will do great. And yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope that you enjoyed my tips. I hope they help you in some way. Even if they don't, the only thing that you can take from this video is just to believe in yourself, take your time, and just take this moment to really get to know yourself. Get to know the way you like to study. Get to know the way you like to have quiet time. Because to me, after a while, I developed like a plan on how I like to study and what worked for me, what didn't work for me, as far as like, you know, staying home and studying didn't work for me. So that's why I had to leave the house and, you know, get to know myself that way, treat myself to like a coffee that I really liked or to a lunch that I really enjoyed. And it's just a really personal process, and I wish you the best of luck, and I hope to see you in the future. Bye, guys.